Hey believers, this is SuperZOMGBBQ, and today we're going to be talking about SummerSlam tier because it has been officially announced. As you can see on the screen, SummerSlam tier arrives tomorrow. There is a lot of cards that has been announced. There's been a lot of new arrivals in WWE SuperCard. Some people have been asking for ages, others have come out of nowhere. And it's all awesome. We don't know what's happening with the event this week, but I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow. It's gonna be hype. Now, just as a pre-warning, as soon as the update comes out tomorrow, we will have a stream, stroke, freebie getting, stroke, potential pack opening. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but whatever happens, I know I am going to be hyped for it. I can't wait. The cards look unreal. Seriously. Get yourself over to WWE SuperCard's Twitter. Get yourself looking at my Instagram and Twitter as well. Details in the description below. And wow, some of the card designs are incredible. Some of the card images in games like WWE Slam and WWE 2K before, these images are on the game. So we're going to talk about those right now. Before we get into that, let's talk about WrestleMania tier, because we've got a couple of things to talk about. First of all, I got myself that second Becky yesterday, and across the weekend I got that first Becky almost leveled up. My two Sasha Banks. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with Sasha yet. I've got an idea, but I'm going to do what I usually do with the Divas, the Special Edition Divas, and that's kind of merged around what other people have done. I'm going to take kind of like a hybrid of everyone else's and kind of just make mine around it. I usually make the second best stat the best stat. So instead of charisma, for example, toughness. I'm thinking of doing something special with Becky's power, but I'm thinking about it. But I do want to say a huge thank you to Forever Smug for hosting the final JB on tour, possibly ever, because we don't know what's going on with Season 3 yet, but hopefully not. Hopefully I'll go back there at least one more time. Thank you to Lujomania, for letting me in the team one last time. We had an awesome time. I'm going to get myself my Ultimate Warrior Award. Before I do that, I'll get myself my Eve as well, because, you know, everyone loves a bit of fusion food. Thanks to Eve. What happened to Eve anyway? If anyone could let me know in the comment section, that'd be great. Because she just seems like she just disappeared. I think she's still on the payroll or something, but she's now classed as a legend in a lot of things, which is like, when did that happen? Booker T as well. My first ever Survivor Pro, actually, Booker T was. And he gets ourselves an Ultimate Warrior. I'm hoping that he gets a SummerSlam card. He's been in every one of the big tiers so far, from even Ultra Rare up to WrestleMania tier. But he's not been announced so far for SummerSlam tier. Hopefully he's going to be in it. But he may have just given way for some of the older guys. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to see an Ultimate Warrior. I'd like to see an Ultimate Warrior that actually is respected stat-wise, because Ultimate Warrior is one of the greatest WWE wrestlers. But let me know if you think the same in the comment section. I mean, you get guys like Hulk Hogan and The Rock and everyone else who's an old-school wrestler get amazing stats, but Ultimate Warrior hasn't had those. I mean, Legendary tier and Survivor tier, he was almost embarrassing in terms of overall stats. I personally think he should be one of the best cards in the tier. He was in Season 1. I mean, that fusion was amazing for Ultimate Warrior. But there we go. That's those images. I'll just get the others like soon. Let's just get that Kane as well, because it's just easier to do that. But there's been a lot of chatter going on now. Whilst I'm getting these rewards, I'm going to talk about my most recent Legendary Fusion. I'm still in the hunt for Finn. And no, I didn't get him. Finn, unfortunately, has eluded me again. I got myself another Becky Lynch. It's literally as bad as Fuji's quest to get Paige. But thank you to Forever Smug. One last shout out to them. Let's go to the teams. Let's go to the players. Let's shout out to, first of all, Luch, because Luch is amazing. And they got Lego Head, Noah, Becky, Lucky Turnip, Robin, Christopher, Real Cena, and TZKU. You guys know him as well. And obviously myself at the bottom. But all of those cards are going to be, apart from the Divas, rather useless soon, because SummerSlam tier is here. I cannot wait. I've seen the logo for it already. You guys might have seen that on the Twitter. I'm actually going to pop it up over there in the little grey box of doom, as I call it. And it's pretty hype right now. Some of the people that have been announced are awesome, and I can't wait for you all to see them. Some of the stats as well, especially on one of the cards, is just absolutely out of this world. The cards are probably going to be 7 or 8k stats minimum, potentially 8 to 9k when it comes to the event cards. The procs are going to be on Beyond This World, And the cards look really, really nice. And they've gone for a different type of design aspect this time. But less of me talking. Goodbye forever, SuperZomGBBQ. We're a patriot. Thank you. And with the Survivor Fusion going, we're going to look at some of those SummerSlam cards. Let's go! First one I'm going to look at is the one that literally has just been released, and that is a Sasha Banks card. I'm not going to show all of them on here because I'll just be talking about them for forever. TZ's talking about Shinsuke's card now because Shinsuke's got a card as well. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, basically the boss has got a card and it's pretty sick. I haven't seen any of the other divas, or the top divas anyway, like Nikki, for example, Brie, if Brie has a card, Paige, for example. All I know is that her card is quite ludicrously well balanced. Still, in my opinion, one of the best divas to have because of that toughness and charisma. But this is just giving you guys an insight into what the cards look like. And some of them are incredible. I like the fact that the cards aren't straight up just normal, well, just smack the image on the card and bang, there you go. They're slightly tilted, they've got that glow behind them, and they're designed like the SummerSlam design as well, which looks awesome. Next one I'm going to show you is one of my personal favourites, this Finn Balor. Wow, I like the stats as well, but you're going to see there's a big difference in the stats between the really good cards and the not great cards, and we're going to talk about this. Now, Finn, it looks like, is kind of high mid. If we have a look as well at Randy Orton in a second, you'll see he actually 4 stats Finn Balor, which is kind of embarrassing. But there is no arrow change on Balor, which I'm surprised about because the club are also in this, which I will also show you guys in a second. Randy Orton's card comes in. Decent in pretty much the power, toughness, and speed. Not so great in charisma. And then you've got this card. I mean, wow. Brock Lesnar is a freaking beast. I mean, what? Over 2,000 power. Just his main card alone. And that speed is going to be a pain in the ass. I tell you what, there's going to be a lot of people skipping toughness just to go straight for that speed. I would love to see cards like Roman Reigns right now. I'd actually be surprised if Brock Lesnar is not in the top 5 and actually we see even more ridiculously overpowered cards. I think we're going to see him. But let's move on from Brock Lesnar to the club. First of all, I'm going to show you guys Carl Anderson. Surprising stats, I'm going to be honest with you, because his speed is ridiculously low for what I would expect of Carl Anderson. Gallows' stats are a little bit crazy as well. Gallows just looks ridiculously OP. I mean, Gallows 3 stats Anderson. I mean, I know he has more charisma, but it is crazy. It's literally beyond crazy that Gallows has got such a good set of stats and Anderson doesn't. But, you know, I'm guessing they're going by the fact that Gallows is in WWE beforehand. But the club are both in there, they're both taggable, and that made it a little bit surprising as to why Finn Balor wasn't changed arrow-wise, but maybe that's a tactical thing for the tier. I don't know. Also got Baron Corbin. We missed out on Baron Corbin because of that dreadful PCC, and Baron Corbin is going to be in the tier. I'm surprised. He's got great toughness. A decent amount of charisma as well. He could be actually one of the surprise elements of the tier. That charisma as well and that toughness, because just by adding up that toughness and just leveling up a little bit and put all of it on charisma, you've just 2-started Randy Orton and you got the proc and power as well. That potentially could be something special. One of my favourite cards though so far announced, purely because it does represent NXT, and oh boy, it's got this baby. Yes, Samoa Joe's card. He is going to have his first regular high tier card. And he looks awesome. He is possibly one of the best images of Samoa Joe I've ever seen, even going through TNA as well. He's had some pretty nasty images. I mean, nasty is like really good. And the fact that he's got this baby on, it means that everyone's going to want Samoa Joe straight away, just to use it on their Samoa Joe event card if they've got it. Or just because it's Samoa Joe, for God's sake. You know, the thing I love about new tiers is when you get to a new tier, you see people immediately put it as their champ, and it's always that first pro you get. The first pro you get in the tier, you're so proud of. Even if it is this next one, Simon Gotch and Aiden English. Aiden English itself is not bad, but Simon Gotch, wow. Yeah. Basically, Simon Gotch and Aiden English are towards, it looks like, the bottom of the tier. I thought the stats were kind of mucked up, but apparently Aiden English and Simon Gotch are two of the weakest cards in the tier. Probably going to be towards the bottom of the tier with the likes of, you know, the standard cards you'd find. Even though Ziggler's apparently in the main event of SummerSlam and he's one of the weakest cards in the tier already. In fact, actually, I haven't checked to see how Ziggler actually lines up against these, but the Ziggler card looks really bad. And one other thing which I'm so happy about, and I actually mentioned yesterday, and I said it was a shoo-in that Big Cass was going to be in here, but Enzo Amore and Big Cass are both in the SummerSlam tier, and most importantly, their stats are actually really good. They're at least over mid-tier, which is good. I mean, sure, they're not Brock Lesnar, and yeah, sure, Brock Lesnar does free-stat Enzo Amore, and Randy Orton pretty much kills both of them, but at the end of the day, it's great to see Enzo Amore there. I think Enzo is the better card out of the two. Please correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but that's the way I see it. He's got a great set of stats. I'm surprised by that. Anyway, the other card I was really, really excited about as well, just because we got the NXT belt here, is Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura has got a card, and his stats look pretty good. They look pretty good. He is definitely, I'd say, about Samoa Joe level, which is just above mid-tier to go into top tier, which is nice to see for the NXT people. I mean, let's be honest, no, he's no Brock Lesnar, but at least he does have a good set of stats, and he's going to be competitive. I mean, especially against some of the cards like John Cena and whatnot. But that's a good point, actually. Where is John Cena? Oh, no, you can't see him. That was a great joke by WWE SuperCard, yeah. Top banter. Great. I'm just going to go now, okay? Yeah, bye. Despite that, they haven't actually released the card yet. I would imagine that John Cena is actually going to have an image. That would just be funny if you could just have John Cena without an image. That would actually be probably one of the coolest things in the tier. One thing I haven't spoken about too much, though, is Divas. We haven't had many Divas announced. We do know that Dana Brooke is going to be in it as well. Alexa Bliss is going to be there, as well as Carmella. I would say out of all the cards I've seen so far, Alexa Bliss does look the best out of the ones that are available, as well, not compared to Sasha Banks, of course, but we haven't seen any Nikki Bellas or Paiges yet. Maybe when we see those, we might see something a little bit more comparable. But let me know what you think of those SummerSlam cards. What's going to be great about these cards is there's so many new ones. There's more finishes. There's going to be crazy stats. Now, what I'm going to do is just going to bring back that Brock Lesnar card. Okay, now just to look at this Brock Lesnar card, purely because I'm just amazed by the power of it. It's going to be insane. But first of all, a couple of things to look at. Brock Lesnar has a 144 power, 144 toughness. The proc's going to be insane. The support cards are probably going to be doubly insane. But it's 0 to 30 for the singles, which means I imagine it's going to be 0 to 35 to get to the pro, which I believe it was 25 for WrestleMania singles and 30 for the pro. I would also imagine that you're going to have 6 tokens for the singles, which means that there's going to be a lot of token possibilities. I think WrestleMania maybe was too easy with having two. You kind of just have the same cards in most aspects, unless someone's really creative. I think SummerSlam tier is going to allow people to be even more creative, because I think the pros potentially could have 7 tokens. Just imagine that. They could have even more than that. So imagine 7 tokens for the pro. You could basically level up Brock Lesnar in all power and have loads of tokens afterwards. You could basically have just the rest in speed and 1 in toughness, and you got a card that pretty much kills anything else. It does mean there's going to be less weaknesses possibly in the tier when we go into King of the Rings and whatnot. I love the designs. My only hope is that AJ Styles is going to be announced for the tier, which he will be. But I also hope that they change his arrow as well. And I also hope maybe we'll get some of the older legendary superstars. And as I mentioned, people like Ultimate Warrior, give him a bit more respect. Put him in, having his stats out of this world. Maybe just have him like an overall card that just can kill pretty much anything. But obviously, a couple of shoe-ins you can probably expect are the likes of The Rock, because he's been in every tier so far, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Maybe we're finally going to get to use that image of Stone Cold Steve Austin that's on the front screen and has been on the front screen for so long. But that also leaves me with a question. And maybe I'm going to leave you with this thought. We've just had WrestleMania fusions. What about SummerSlam fusions? That's maybe why some of the additional people, maybe the likes of the Ultimate Warrior, potentially Hulk Hogan, maybe the old legends, maybe Bruno Sammartino, Yokozuna, maybe they were left out. because of SummerSlam tier. It was surprising when I saw so little fusions, considering in the past, WrestleMania fusions in Season 1 was packed to the rim. And obviously this had the most fusions out of any tier, so maybe we're going to see even more, maybe legendary fusions going forward. I would imagine we'll see those in about 2 months' time, at least definitely towards Season 3, whenever that is due. But who can say they're not hyped by these cards? Let me know in the comment section below what you think of the designs, of the procs, of everything to do with them, the potential of having 7 tokens on the Pro as well. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. That is it from me. So as of tomorrow, we are going to have SummerSlam tier new update. It's going to go live. It's going to be a client update, so don't expect just a green arrow. It's going to be a full-on update. Times, usually the update comes out around about 7 PM to 9 PM British summertime, or GMT, whatever you want to call it, GMT plus 1. It's going to be out around about that time. I don't know if that's 100% confirmed, but it's going to happen around about that time. And they usually send it live a few hours later on when everyone's got the opportunity to get access to the update. We will be having a stream tomorrow, hopefully with a few people coming in to get their freebies as well. Around about 9 PM British summertime, we are going to be live until we get the freebies and maybe some packs afterwards. We might just have some packs. Check in the description below for links to my Instagram, Twitter, and of course my Twitch details, as well as Discord and the links to WWE SuperCard's Twitter page. And I will see you all very, very soon. As always, we've got one last thing, and that is, of course, Solif!